One second, y'all. One second. One one second, y'all. I'm having to do this so I can look and pull up stuff on my phone to look at and answer notifications and all that too. Because usually, uh, stuff just don't work out when. One second, y'all. I'm having to do this so I can. Okay. So, so now I can read the chat and then I'll wait and let people get in here. First things first. Hope everyone is doing okay. I will tell you, I had an interview scheduled today, but I think the dude was playing games. Sometimes perps will schedule interviews and then have me ready to do the interview and then back out. I've really been feeling like crap the last since 4 Saturdays ago, 3 Saturdays ago. I had pneumonia uh, and all that good stuff. I think it was radio frequency pneumonia because it can be induced because I did not have cough. Um, I didn't have cough. I didn't have sinus. I didn't have none of that. It was just straight up exhaustion. So that's why I haven't been on here that much. Plus, I've been getting hit with weapons. Then I go to a doctor finally and tapped out yesterday. Um, I'm showing you I'm not BSing. And they tell me they can barely find my thyroid level, so that means I'm way over what I should be. So if anybody knows about direct energy weapons, LRAD, all this stuff, they throw the thyroid off. In most cases, Holly's had thyroid problems. A lot of the TIs I talk to have had thyroid problems. And anybody in here wants to know what a TI is, I'm talking about targeted individual. So they basically said I had to really go over my blood work myself when I got home because they really wasn't going over it that good. So anyway, I had some white blood cell were just a little high, which means my body was fighting that pneumonia a few weeks ago. They couldn't tell. They said my lungs look good. I'm starting to feel better now. Hyperthyroidism is crazy because I was hypo, so now I'm hyper. In 2022, I was hypo, so now I'm hyper. So these weapons just make your thyroid go crazy because your thyroid is your thermostat in your body, and your thyroid is what absorbs most of the radiation when you're being hit with these weapons. And by the way, somebody sent me a video with Catherine Horton. Uh, why is Catherine Horton wearing a tinfoil hat? I mean, any TI or anybody being hit with weapons don't need to be wearing no tinfoil hat, and that's facts. Uh, because the full hat typically has gaps and does not fully enclose the head like a Faraday cage, waves can bounce and focus inside that hat, potentially intensifying exposure to your brain. To be effective, a shield must be completely sealed and grounded. A simple hat leaves the face, the neck, base of the skull exposed, allowing electromagnetic energy to wrap around the edges and enter from below. And if I could pull up a picture right now and show y'all the tinfoil hat I made about 4 or 5 years ago, it had 4 or 5 layers on it, and it made me burn so bad. And anybody who don't believe in these weapons, uh, you better look it up. They're using it on the anti-ICE protesters right now. Google it yourself, since STIs have been screaming this. Uh, uh, since STIs have been screaming this for years, they used it to take over Venezuela. Who do you think they tested them weapons on to be effective like they are? Dissidents and people they labeled as need to be targeted, need to be watched. That's what they did. Uh, so. And let me see. Let me pull this up. Give me 1 second. Welcome everybody. Whoever's in the chat. There's only seven, and nobody's commented high or nothing. So I'm assuming that a lot of them are not my subscribers and are new. Welcome everybody who's listening, even the haters. I love you. I pray for you. May the Most High make you fall in a trap if you got one set for me. Uh, been doing Psalms a lot, reading Psalms out loud, spending time with God. And I've had a lot of time. I've been in bed like 7 or 8 days the past 3 weeks. But my body kicked it. My body kicked pneumonia. I mean, that's pretty good when it does it on its own. Well, I had like 10 antibiotics I used that was saved up. But man, once your body fights off stuff on its own, then what you find is once your body fights off pneumonia and stuff like that on its own, then your immune system just gets stronger to fight off stuff like that. But it was frequency induced. I'm telling you, it was frequency induced because I got this major pain. I thought it was an aneurysm in the right side of my brain. I was looking up aneurysms and everything. That's how bad it was, like a big thunderclap headache. And then I was just exhausted. Like I could like the tables turn. Usually I do everything in this house that needs to be done. And boy, I'm glad that I had people to help me because if not, I wouldn't have been able to make it through this. This last 3 weeks was hell. I was in bed most days, could barely move, drinking hydrating. I'll tell you a good little mixture for the brain. You mix a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, organic cinnamon, and then you want to mix it with pure raw organic honey, a teaspoon of pure raw, and I'm talking about the stuff that gels up. If you got honey that says pure raw on it and it's not gelled up and it's not crystallized, that's not real honey. And I don't care what nobody says, it's not. So you want to get the stuff and make sure you're getting the good stuff. And then you mix it and you take it either in the morning on an empty stomach or at night. It's very neuroprotective for brain fog. A natural. I've been using it. It's honey. Now, the reason I think I had my lungs were burning a little bit, and I heard that, this is, I'm not nobody special to give medical advice or nothing like that. So this ain't, but anyway, the honey, helped kill bacteria in my lungs. I would take a teaspoon 3 times a day of pure raw honey. Let's see. Good morning, David. Paris Logan said, Dave, I'm leaving sign. I'm escaping. I need prayers bad. They about destroyed my new car. Ponca City is Epstein Hub. Um, well, Carrie, if you're leaving Scientology today, I suggest that you say Psalms 91 out loud, Psalms 109, and stick close to them. If you're living in any kind of sin, I would suggest like repent before you start saying them prayers. That's just my suggestion. Uh, and I'm sorry you're going through that. And I will may the Most High cover Carrie and let them fall in their own trap if they have any traps. Help her escape. She's trying to leave something that she's been very deeply connected to and needs an escape. So I ask that in the name of Jesus. Okay, it says in late January 26, report surfaced the Voice of God technology being deployed against anti-ICE protesters in Maple Grove, Minnesota, during a demonstration outside a hotel. The, uh, it was a long-range acoustic LRAD device, nicknamed for its ability to project highly focused, deafening sound that feels like it's inside the head. I've been dealing with it since 2015. Walked outside a hotel after trying to check into 6 hotels. Boom. It's my handler's voice and her friend, and they're laughing, saying, "Look, David can't even get in no hotel. He don't know what to do." Well, I looked. I thought they were there, but really they were 500 miles away. So uh, and it sounded just like it. So these weapons are very advanced, but all these weapons that they're using to get Maduro in Venezuela, this so-called Havana syndrome BS. And the reason I hate the term Havana syndrome, it's been going on a long time before Havana. They perfected these weapons on people like me. That's where they tested these weapons at, and that's no lie. Hey, Benny. Hey, man, I'm feeling better. That's why I'm coming on right now, why I do feel good because it goes in and out. I'm trying to recover. I'm not, I'm good. I'll get out. I didn't realize it till yesterday. Well, Carrie, I'm praying that you make it. I know how the Scientology thing works and all that, and I'm not going to go into it for obvious reasons on here. But yeah, they don't want you to leave. That's for sure. That's all I'm going to say about that. And they're highly involved in uh, putting pressure, ruining your name, making sure you stay in that kind of group. A lot of groups are like that. I'm going through an episode, Vinny. What are you being hit? Is your ears and stuff? What's going on? Oh, if you just now got here, I was just talking and rambling on why Catherine Horton is wearing a tinfoil hat when anybody who's been hit with dues know tinfoil hats make dues worse, or that's been out my experience. I threw mine away, but I took a picture of it and posted it a while back on Facebook because I'd found it in the closet. I had like 6 or 7 layers. 421 BB4. I'm in LA. I'm involved in a lot of Scientology activism. Aftermath Foundation. Look it up. Yeah, I don't look. To each his own. Uh, I don't look down on nobody. I'm very open-minded, but when people go to harassing people because they're trying to get out of a group, that's gone too far. Now, if I'm sure there are good groups. I mean, I really don't know nothing about it besides what I've seen on TV and stuff like that. So, I'm not down in your group like that, but there have been many, many cases, and you can research it, of people trying to get out of groups like that who got harassed, got their name smeared, and all that. Jane Park, hey, 420 BB4. You saying you're active? You're doing activism for Scientology? Because I may have misunderstood. I'm dealing with V2K. They're attacking my groin slightly and they're making me lose focus. Man, hey Vinny, I wish you had some honey, organic honey that's gelled up in a jar. Because really, the only way you can tell the honey now is natural or pure is if you let it sit up for about a month or two. And because I got a jar right now that says pure raw honey, and it's runny as crap, and that's not pure raw honey at all. Uh, okay, I misunderstood you. 420 BB4. I'm sorry. They really went after my car. Uh, oh, the honey. Oh yeah, the pure raw honey in the um ground cinnamon, organic ground cinnamon. You got to look up what kind. I forgot the name of the kind. There's two different kinds of ground cinnamon, but you want to mix a half a teaspoon. I do a half a teaspoon, or you can do a quarter teaspoon, and you want to do a tablespoon of honey and make a paste out of it. Now just look up the honey and cinnamon neuroprotective recipe online. They'll give you 3 different ways to do it. That's the way I do it, and I'll put it in the oatmeal or whatever. Yeah, I hear you. 420 BB4. A lot of people's been through that, and it's no good. Now, I really don't want to. I don't know what to do to speak on as far as besides the horror stories I've heard and all that. I don't know if they're Oh, okay. Most major groups aren't good. Why do you think? Who do you think does the targeting? It's not just one group. SS Tone says. Oh yeah, you're right. It's not just one group. That's why. I think it's a lot deeper than any terrorist database watch list. A lot deeper. There's a lot of stuff involved. I don't have time to go into it right now, but I definitely agree. I agree with you, SS Tone. I'm definitely. Let's see what else I got because there's some more reports I got for y'all. Yeah, somebody sent me a video and it's got this dude talking about wearing a tinfoil hat and all this, and Catherine Horton's got a tinfoil hat, and it's all these mixtures of people. And I just don't understand it. Maybe they were hitting me with something a lot harder because the tinfoil hat does not work for me. It makes mine worse. Uh, Let me see. But oh yeah, back to the protesters being LRAD used on them. You know, welcome to the club's all I got to say. I'm assuming a lot of y'all doubted us when we were telling y'all these weapons existed. I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody, but when you make fun of people, and call us conspiracy theorists and call us crazy because we're saying we're being burnt with weapons and being sounds pumped in our heads, if you're one of them people that made fun of us, I don't feel sorry for you at all. So that's just me, because you don't know the horror we go through when we try to tell people something and they tell us we're crazy or we're paranoid or we need to get help. That right there is so traumatizing. Yeah. So if you're one of them that made fun of us and you got hit with that the other day, so be it. Now you know it's real. Don't make fun of nobody else that hears it. Yes, it is, SS Tone. And also, and if depending on what you believe in, your spirituality and all that, uh, if you go by Bible, follower of Christ's ways, uh, you have more power than you even know. They want you powerless. If you know the power you have, the devil's already under your feet. You just got to walk in it. And it's very, very, very uh, simple. Uh, Although the path is narrow, but it is simple once you learn who you are in Christ. But if you don't believe that way, I don't look down on you either. I don't judge nobody. I'm not the judge. It's not me to judge, and I don't cast. Uh, Shoot, I don't. I got my own. I got plenty of faults myself. Uh, oh yeah, and anybody who's seen them negative posts about Amy Holm lately, I'll take up for Amy Holm. I'm in contact with several TIs she's helped. So uh, that's my stance on it. And I hope that she would take up for me and if I was not there to take up for myself as well. And I might have her on to explain phone hacking and how it works and how to beat it and all that in a few weeks. But I seen a post and I took up, and then a couple people. One of the people that tried to bash Amy was on Amy's friends list, and so I called him out, and he got mad and deleted the conversation. But I have it screenshotted because he didn't want nobody to know he was two-faced, you know. Uh, yeah, normies don't want to hear it. Hi, Sue. I'm feeling decent this morning, so before I start feeling like crap, I figured I'd come on here and just let y'all know I'm trying to come back slowly. Yeah, the web is a wide and the rabbit hole is deep, and that's why they're flooding. They just they flood you. They flood you with they flood your screen with nothing but stuff to waste your time all day. I that's another reason I haven't been on that much because I've been staying away from electronics. I mean, I still have my phone on me every now and then. Well, I have it on, but what I'm saying is I don't be I'm not in it all the time like I used to be. I've took very big breaks and I got some blue light glasses, y'all. Uh Here, let me play this blue light thing for y'all, this video. Oh, I got blue light glasses that have an amber tint to them because that's the most effective, and they're on the way. Uh, so anyway, a famous 2005 MIT study found that while fall hats reduce some radio frequencies, they actually amplify others by 20 to 30 decibels. So I'm just saying that tinfoil hat stuff, uh, for high-powered direct energy weapons, aluminum foil is so thin it will rapidly melt or vaporize instead of reflecting the weapon. The foil could fuse to the wearer and cause severe thermal burns. Uh, Far from providing the geometry of a foil hat can turn into an antenna that collects and focuses certain types of electromagnetic energy directly into the wearer. So So thank you, Sue. So my experience with a tinfoil hat is I remember the last time I wore it, it was like 2 years ago. We seen a laser, and I might have posted that laser somewhere on this channel. But anyway, a laser came by from the sky and was probing the garage. It set the camera off, and I still got the video on my drive. Uh, but yeah, this is like 4 in the morning. I'm up. I'm sleep deprived. I put the hat on, and it's got all kinds of layers and all that. And man, it made my targeting 10 times. My nausea, I heated up 10 to 20 times worse. And then I was like, well, no tinfoil hats for me. Uh, but when I asked Robert Duncan about it, Robert Duncan said that the reason why is because tinfoil is not made like it used to be made. So it has holes, and it once the frequency gets in them holes, it just bounces around and makes your head hotter. My organized stalker going to any store I visit and pretend to be a store employee. I believe that. Man, I've endured some crazy stuff on the streets and stuff. I walked into a. There was one day what they did was every store I walked into, everybody would run out like I was a damn serial killer or something. I'm talking about I would walk in the store at McDonald's, everybody would be at the counter, and they would just scatter and get the hell out. And that was to freak me out. I also had somebody I thought was a high. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but uh, this person tried to was supposed to be my friend and TI. Well, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm sorry, I'm eating oatmeal. A gluten-free pain, a gluten-free, uh, sugarless oatmeal because supposedly with my thyroid levels like they are, I don't need to be eating nothing basically. Excuse me, I'm finna. Hold on, let me pause this while I cough. I don't want to trigger nobody. Well, I don't think I can help it. Okay, full hats aren't so much protecting as they are channeling your own bioelectric magnetic field. Oh yeah, the stores are permitting it. Man, Walmart in Springfield, Missouri, man, I can't. I only know parts of the story because it was so traumatizing. But I was there after midnight. Listen what the cops did. I was so out of, man, that's when Jade Helm was going on. It was 2015. I had just experienced V2K for the first time. They're hitting me with weapons. They're running all kinds of stuff on it because I was a Jade Helm test subject. So look, I'm in Walmart after midnight. I'm so freaked out. I'm I'm behind the bank, which is closed, in the Walmart in Springfield, Missouri, right up the road by the bus station. And the cop just says, "Does he not know he can get arrested for that?" He said, I'm not gonna do nothing to him." And I'm just sitting there, and I got my bag with me. Uh, I had a bag of clothes and all that stuff. I had money. I just couldn't check in no hotel. They wouldn't check me in. So look, I'm sitting back. I didn't, man. I start hearing V2K and hear these workers talking about transport. I want to transport him to England. I want to transport him here. No, I'm going to transport him here. No, I got my money. I want to transport him here. Then I walk out of Walmart and this girl and these two guys. This is like after midnight, dude. And then these girl and two guys say it's kind of like what that girl say? She said, it's kind of like the Nazi death camps, ain't it? And I'm like, I just walked. It really freaked me out then. A lot more stuff happened that day. And I need to write it down and try to process it. A lot of that stuff's very traumatic. They can physically hack anyone. If your friends turn against you, that doesn't necessarily mean they chose to do that. 100% true. Uh, some people are influenced by mind control. Some are influenced by smear campaigns. So it goes both ways. You know, I've experienced both. But yeah, the reason I know that's true is when you're getting when you're getting stalked by all these people and stuff, anybody who's experienced real stalking, real targeting, where you're blacklisted and stores will close down if they like you'll tell somebody I'm on my way to the store and you get to the store and they close down or they won't take cash or all of a sudden they won't take your food stamp card but you just seen somebody buy something with your food with their food stamp card. uh Crazy. The store employees in my town are in on it crazy. Yes, I believe you, Mindy, 100%. When I was before I became agoraphobic and all that, I was very. That's why it's just hard for me to go because I'm an empath too, so I can read people's energy. So, yesterday it was a big deal for me to get out and go where I went to get seen about and get my blood drawn and all that. But I could tell a couple of them people as soon as I typed my social security number in, I think they got something. When you type your social in or wherever, at any doctor's office, it's got something. I don't know what they're reading on that screen, but I can read energy good. I can tell when something's about to go down. And I'm not saying nothing was about to go down yesterday. I'm just saying I can read people good. I can read if they've read something about me. If you're only empath, true empaths would know what I'm talking about, and it's draining being able to do that. I'm about a year into V2K. Have you ever heard of TI's getting? Have you heard of TI? I'm financially ruined and can't maintain a job where I am because of the sleep deprivation. Well, yeah, Mindy, it's like somebody's being fake and they think they're getting away with it, and you're just like, really? Good. I'm too exhausted to deal with this. So I just walk away because it's draining being able to read people. Being around negative people will just drain the hell out of you. I'm about a year in. Have you heard of TIs getting together? Yeah, I've heard of TIs getting together. If we'd stop backstabbing each other and worrying about popularity and all that, I've heard about TIs getting together. That's the only way it's ever going to work. You got too many TIs that want popular limelight and want to outdo the other and all of that, and and then you got the paranoia involved in the games they play on the computers and the phones, and they may text some people to TIs might start getting together and they may start messing with phones, hacking phones, texting people, acting like TIs are talking about people, and the whole time um, it's whoever's doing all this stuff, hacking phones, causing dissension between all these TIs, and it's not even the TIs texting nobody. And so these TIs looking at their phones, getting offended, and really all the stuff is a psyop. So I have heard of TIs getting together, but I think it's damn near impossible. Real TIs. Well, my thoughts are my own, SS Stone, and I think that's one reason some people are targeted so hard is because the mind control doesn't work. I don't think mind control works on everybody, and I think highly targeted individuals are ones that are resistant and don't conform to mind control like others. And Mindy, I want to get together with TIs too, and we backed up from trying all that because it turned in, man, they played so many games and putting stuff in people's ear here, people's ear there, and just destroyed it. So we just backed off because and if people's got the energy for it, I say go for it. I would be a part, but I don't have the energy and the stuff going on right now in my life I have to take care of. I don't have the energy and the time to do it because I've got too much going on, here. I'm not going to get into it, but we got a lot going on here. We just now 3 years ago when I started my channel, yeah, and Roy E. Cups tried to do it, and you see what happened to him. Everybody used Roy E. Cups up, used his platform up, and left him, and now he's nowhere. They hacked his YouTube live, and he forgot to. Well, makes well. Let me do this real quick while I'm talking about hacking YouTube Live. Hold on. They hacked his YouTube Live, and all these groups, big time groups, said they were coming together. He tried to unite the whole TI community, and it did not. It did not work because everybody was greedy, used the platform, made their own platforms, and now look at them. And I'm not gonna mention no names because I try to stay out of the drama. I got too much stuff going on to be an energy I need for myself to get into drama. But yeah, Roy E. Cups had it going on, had the whole TI community fixing to be united, and everybody with their shenanigans and greed and all that used him up, spit him out. And back in 2022 is when that happened. I invited some TIs here and they hit me harder. Yeah, that's called negative association conditioning. So you invite TIs to your house, uh, they hit you harder and they make you think the TI is a perp and the TI is to blame. That way the TI can get put out and don't have nowhere to go. Uh, Classic. I've been that happened to me in 2018. I was invited to TI's house. Same thing happened. The TI starts thinking you're a perp and all that. Hell, I got accused from being able to disappear from the bottom floor and be on top floor of the stairs. And once she accused me of that, I just got the hell out of there on my own. But uh, so what they do is when you try to connect, they will do anything they can. They will hit you worse every time you talk to a certain TI. They will, especially if they see beneficial stuff coming out of you and the TI's relationship at all. I know me and Holly went through hell the first year. They played all types of games. Holly thought I was reading her mind. The first year was hell, but we told each other, look, we're going to look past what our trauma is telling us about each other and just see how it goes. Because if we listen to our trauma, anybody knows anything about trauma, people who've been through trauma, anything good feels like a setup. So what you got to do is you got to bypass that trauma telling you this is a setup and push that thought to the side for 3 months. If you're seriously traumatized, it'll take 6 months. If you're more serious traumatized than that, it might take a year. But you got to push the thoughts. All right, these thoughts come to my head about Holly. I'm gonna push them to the side and revisit them in 3 months after giving her the benefit of the doubt, and then let's see if what my trauma's saying then. You see, that's what you got to do. Yes, he was. Vinny Roy E. Cups had it all coming together. So go ask these organizations and stuff why TIs can't come together, is what I say, because they're the ones that used him up to build their platform even further, and they left him in the mud. And then everything he was doing for the TI community went downhill. Uh, you know, uh, and I don't want to go into it, but yeah, uh, Roy had the TIs together, and I was a part of it. I witnessed it. He had Robert Duncan coming on his show. He had Barry Trier coming on his show. I mean, and then he had everybody in Zoom calls and was connecting everybody from the UK all the way to America. And I got something for y'all. If you have Telegram, I suggest you research. Europe is a third world country. Europe is becoming a third world country. And see, they're pouring these outsiders into Europe, and the reason they're doing that is to cause chaos and have people begging for the digital ID. So they gotta have all these people come in, flood, rape, kill, barrage, all that, and it's going on in Europe. They're not covering it in the media, and they're not going to. Europe is trashed, and Europe is trashed. Okay, so and it's called well man, I think a Hegelian dialect or something. You cause the problem and you have people begging for the solution. Well, I suggest you look into Europe, a third world country, and see if you can find anything about it. Um, because I feel like it was going to happen here eventually, and it may still happen here eventually. Uh, but all we can do is trust in the Most High. I'm sorry he told you that, Jane. And I know sometimes yeah, I'm not gonna get into his life, but I'm sorry he told you that. That's all I'm gonna say. And if he told you that, that was wrong. Uh it's happened in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand too. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Nobody's looking at nobody what's which is Classic. Yeah, that I mean that is, but people under pressure make mistakes sometimes. I don't think he did it intentional, and if he did, he is wrong for that. Uh, Definitely wrong because he's done me. This trauma will make you push people away, treat people like perps. I'm guilty of it, but I've been through some high amount of trauma for years. And some people I've called perps that are my friends. It happens, I've had friends call me a perp, think I'm a perp, and I'm just patient with them because I understand that's what trauma does. Trauma makes you question anything. The Thank you, SS Stone. Yeah, so what they're doing, the problem, action, reaction, solution. Uh, yeah, these people, I just look up Europe. Anybody who wants to feel blessed or grateful about something will look up Europe because they're going through it. Germany's trashed, the UK's trashed. They're raping, they're killing, they're doing it all. And there's no security. And the reason they're doing that is so them folks will beg and bow down for protection and more security and more surveillance. That's why they're doing it. Yes, it is. Especially I went through it homeless on the year on the streets 3 or 4 years straight. Stalked, hated, and everywhere I went to 12 states in 6 months. Everywhere I went, it was the same thing. Um, just craziness. I've been going through it since 2012 though. But I mean, I I grew up in a small town, kind of. Uh, but I grew up fast. But anyway, I left the small town and grew up fast. But anyway, so I thought people were innocent, I thought the Greyhound bus driver or your police officer or your preacher, I was wet behind the ears that I didn't think they would be involved in some crazy torture and stuff like I'm seeing and like I've experienced. So once you see that stuff, it messes. If you did grow up innocent, or with that kind of mindset, it just rapes your mind because then you can't trust nobody. Because then you're like, okay, I'm going in this church building right now. I wonder how many people in there is involved. It just makes you suspicious of everyone. It just rapes any kind of innocence of any good society you thought you were raised up in or you thought was supposed to be there. Thanks for sharing that, SS Stone. And I'm gonna get off here in a little bit right now because I'm starting to vibrate and my legs are vibrating, my head's vibrating right now. But I wanted to come back and say I am coming back. I'm feeling better. I haven't been on here because I've been sick, sick as a dog, and now my thyroid levels are undetectable. I got a TSH level of 0.014, which means my thyroid's producing so much uh, hormone that the TSH is undetectable. So I'm in severe hyperthyroidism. And anybody who's ever dealt with that, on top of these weapons manipulating stuff in the background, um, it's just horrible. I hadn't seen people post about what I've been going through. Thanks for showing me others are going through it. No problem. That's called disillusionment. What's that mean, Anthony? Disillusionment. What's called disillusionment? Never mind, Anthony. I know what you mean. Try hugging a tree barefoot. I doubt it would fix it, but it makes you feel better. Hey, Dave, they might right now so you can stop the live feed. My perps are vile. Yeah, I know. Grounding does help. No, disillusionment is a feeling of disappointment resulting from the recovery that discover that something or someone is not as good as it was once believed to be. Oh, I've got magnesium. I've got B complex. I've got D3. I've got Insure Plus. Because I've lost 27 pounds in the last 3 months. I've got pure raw honey, pure raw garlic. I got it all, and I'm trying my best because I don't go to doctors. Yesterday was an exception because it was kicking my butt, and I needed to know what was going on. Uh, yeah, magnesium in the bath will help, and that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah, Anthony, I know what you're saying now. Yep. But I'm gonna get off here and anybody who wants to come do a testimony or something one day or I'm gonna read this book MK Tech and Mind Control. I'm gonna finish reading that. I'm gonna get back in the swing of things. But I have been down in the count for a month fighting off pneumonia from whatever reason, but I didn't have a cough. My lungs hurt. I didn't have a cough, didn't have sinus problems, didn't have a fever, but I had pneumonia, definitely. So anyway, silver wings, colloidal silver, sunlight's good too, which is why they try to blot it out. Yep. Well, I hope everybody has a good day. And Carrie, I hope what you said at the beginning of this live feed, I hope that you succeed in that. I will be praying. I'll say another prayer when I get off here for you. Uh, May the Most High bless all his children, keep them safe this day and every day. Have love to y'all, Ava said.